All right, it is 5:30 on September 26th, so I'll call the meeting of the Ayer Board of Health to order. I don't see anybody in the audience, so there's no public input. The first thing we have is any material from the Neshoba Board of Health. Bridget was not in the office this morning, but she did call me to, because she had to take a few personal hours off, so just to update me on a few things. And she said that she would have more for us probably. I reminded her about the meeting, 2 meetings in a row, you know, that next Monday we were meeting. She did follow up. Jane, you had sent her an email on that long call you got from somebody with regards to Highland Avenue.
Yes.
And that's another complaint of trash in the property. And she said, you know, when it's an incident like that, you call them first, you give them warning, you tell them you get so many days to do this, and then you follow up more. So she did follow up with that. There's nothing new on that other property that she was, we had the complaint on, on East Main Street. She should have more next week on that. She said, she has one here that she got, and this was on 7 Pine Street. And then it was trash in the yard, and apparently it was open, so she sent a letter to them to tell them to, you know, remove it, and then she'll do a follow-up inspection.
Okay.
I did make her aware that last week at the Selectmen's meeting, towards the end of the meeting, Selectman Hillman brought up property enforcement. And remember, we had been on that. And he said it's been a long time. We haven't done anything about it. So I said to Bridget, if you could just give a look at any of these properties so that if they call and want to have an executive meeting with us too, we'll be up on it. And I said one of them was 71 Sandy Pond Road. That has nothing to do with us.
Right. That's all
the
zoning.
Right. Then he mentioned the McNiff Farm. We have nothing with that. Apparently the building commissioner has some zoning issues. Again, that's him. They mentioned 190 West Main Street. We had that before. And
that comes and goes.
14 Williams, 128 Washington. She said if they bring it up again, they should remember 190 West Main Street, DEP is the one that took the landowner to court. So they had issues up there. We had some, and they had cleared it up. Remember, they had all the tires standing out there and everything. And she said she believes that the other 2 are still in court, that they went to court, and town council should be updating the selectmen on that. As far as I know, it went to court, and I have not heard anything since. So that's kind of the update, and this was all related to pretty much unbelievable trash, I'd say. So. And once it goes to, and I don't know how the civil court dockets go. I mean, the regular courts seem to be tied up for years, so whether anybody has forgotten that or they've just thrown it aside. So anyway, she said if they mention it again, or if we hear from them, that they should check with town council. So
I think it's in their court.
There's nothing on that. So I think that's pretty much everything she had as far as this goes. And I don't think she had anything else. She'll give us anything else for next week.
Next week. Okay.
So that takes us to review the minutes.
A couple of minor things. on the minutes, under the Neshoba, where we talk about the recent rodent problem seems to be resolved, I wasn't sure if that should, if that requires a little more clarification, because it kind of makes it sound like there's a town-wide rodent problem. So I thought maybe we should say, the recent rodent problem,
And the address.
the address, or, in the West Main Street area, or, whatever.
What would you like me to say? In the West Main Street area, maybe, unless?
Yeah, because I think it's kind of unfair to cite the one address of the lady that came before us, because I think there's several properties that have talked about it. So, is there a better way to reference that area? It's the area near the culvert, kind of, near the, I don't know what the better way to describe it would be, is the problem.
Okay.
Maybe this West Main Street area.
Yeah,
is the,
I can do that. I can put that in and bring it next week.
Is it the West
Yeah.
Main Street area where the old billboard, that marshy area you're talking about? Because there is water that goes under West Main Street over to
Yeah.
Shirley Street.
I'm not sure if the properties are there, or if they're farther up. Like, the lady that came before us, I'm not sure what her.
I think she's on Shirley Street.
Yeah,
I think she's on Shirley
Yeah.
also.
Yeah.
That water is all
Yeah.
connected,
Yeah.
that goes.
So
Yeah.
maybe actually Shirley Street would be a better way to put it,
Okay.
the Shirley Street area or something.
West Main, maybe I'll say in the
Yeah,
West
I-
Main,
Yeah.
I
Shirley
understand what
Street
you're talking
area.
about.
Yeah.
You should put the area.
Yeah, it's like,
Yeah.
it's not
So
like we have a town-wide road.
It's
People aren't calling
Okay.
us saying, "Oh my God, this infestation is all over
Yeah.
town." Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Well,
So-
then you
exactly.
can make that correction and.
So you want me to say in the West Main Street, in the West Main Shirley Street area?
Yeah.
Or in the area of West Main,
Yeah.
Shirley Street?
And then the other thing, I wasn't sure whether this is true, that the animal bite incidents are on the increase. Is it true that we're really seeing an increase in the rate, or did we just get kind of a
Better
batch
reporting
of
it.
We got,
reports?
we got a bump. And
Oh,
that
okay,
comes,
okay.
it just comes in, it comes all at once. And
Okay.
this time, we didn't have any.
Yeah, okay.
So,
Okay.
I don't know what I said, but it's not that we're seeing, just in that time period, there were a lot.
Coincidental that those two,
Yeah.
they were close by, weren't they? I mean, in proximity? Were they
I
in the
don't
same
remember
neighborhood?
now.
Oh, I think you might be right. I think
Yeah.
I do recall that they were, yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, so I don't know if we look over a, historical period of time, 6 months or a year or whatever, I don't know that we really have an increase in animal bites, if we truly have a trend that's going up, or if at that one meeting, we had a number of them reported. So,
I don't see where I talked about that.
it's the very last line under Neshoba. So maybe we.
Okay. Oh, let me just say, however, in this time, let me just
Oh,
say
you
there
could.
were a number of animal bites.
Yeah, you could say several animal bites were
Yeah.
reported, or.
Instead of, they
Yeah.
seem to be on the increase. Okay, I misstated that, and I can see that that's misleading. So,
And that's all
okay.
I really had.
No, because they're not on the increase. It just seems like they come in.
Yeah, they come in
Bunches.
bunches. They do.
They do.
Yeah,
Spread.
yeah.
So that's all, and that was just sloppy of me. So I'll change
So
that.
what we can
Okay.
do is we can approve the minutes
Mm-hmm.
with the corrections that you've just made,
Okay,
and then we can sign them the next time.
Mhm.
sure, yeah,
Okay,
that works.
Yeah, can look at them
okay.
online.
Unless at the end of the meeting, Jane wants to go up and just bang them out if we're out of here early and we can sign them when you're here, however
I
you
could do
people
that.
want to do
Yeah, I
it.
could do that too.
Or we can sign them next,
Well,
we're
gonna
gonna
be
We're only a
next
week out.
week.
I would say let's just do them
Yeah.
next week.
But-
Yeah.
So
But
you
I'll-
could-
I think that's fine.
you
And
could-
let me just, do that, and I just,
Because we're back here next Monday.
yeah.
Sure. Yeah, we can
Okay.
meet next Monday. That's not really a problem.
So somebody
So,
want to
yeah, I
correct it?
would move that we accept the minutes with the corrections that we just discussed
Okay.
concerning location for rodents and
So
identification of animals.
the motion was made to approve the minutes of September 12th with the corrections that were just made, and they were seconded. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay, so that takes care of that. So-
Okay, you made the motion, so who seconded it? Okay. Thank you.
So, I was just saying to Pam before before you came in, Trish, so I put down the Shepley's Hill for a reason, and it referred to that article that was in the paper. And I didn't feel that it gave a full story, and it really didn't credit the Board of Health with much. And the Board of Health are the ones that developed the regulations on the moratorium on the wells up in that area. And we had a terrific public hearing, wouldn't you say that,
We
Pam?
did, yeah, very well
Whole room
attended.
full of people, EPA, DEP, everybody. A lot of good questions asked, a lot brought out at that meeting. So, and I told when I saw the reporter last week at the selectmen's meeting, I suggested she get a copy of our regulations. She didn't seem, I will say, overly interested in that. But Jane, I'd like you to email her a copy
Okay.
of those, because it didn't give a good full picture, I didn't think, of what goes on up there.
Mhm.
And that's been a long, long process.
Now, what is it that you want me to,
The regulations on the moratorium of wells up on West Main
okay,
Street.
okay.
Was
You
that
might even-
2014, I think, Pam?
She said 2015.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't last year. I think it was 2014.
I think it was 2014 also.
Yeah, it was
Because,
since
Yeah.
it wasn't when I was
No,
here.
Ruth was here.
Yeah,
Ruth Terry was here then.
yeah.
And I think
yeah.
it was around, it might have been around March. Do you think,
Yeah,
when
I
we had
want to
the
say
meeting?
February, March. It
Then we
was
took all the
early
suggestions
in the
in,
year,
and we
yep.
incorporated them into our
Yeah,
regulations.
yeah.
Town council reviewed them, and then
Yeah.
we fully adopted them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, absolutely. I think there might even be a link already on Board of Health to a video of
Okay.
that meeting, so you could also.
I'll poke around and see what I can
Yeah.
find, and I'll send her everything.
Okay. So, just, I guess to make a few comments on that. 'cause
Absolutely.
You did put me down here as,
Yep.
for a status report. I don't have all of the up to the minute status, but I can give you a little bit of kind of background of what it seems like is going on here.
Well, I figured, Pam, before you started, when I saw that article, I said, oh, there must be something that's come up recently. And I didn't know if you had had any email with Laurie Nearing or any of them, so.
I have not. Now, I missed the last RAB meeting.
Okay.
But I can tell you that in the September 2015 report on the long-term monitoring and,
Mhm.
controls for Shepley's, that's when the Army really began making noises about the arsenic and not really thinking that, the arsenic removal plant, the water treatment for arsenic removal that they have going on, is really getting the bang for the buck that they had hoped it would. So in that document, which is like 780 something pages, so but fortunately it's fairly early on. If anybody watching is interested, you can find that document. There's a link to it on the Board of Health website. And in there, the Army does say that they're not really getting the amount of arsenic out that they had hoped that they would. And it's very, very expensive to run that treatment plant. And it does generate a lot of sludge that has to be trucked away, and it's now hazardous waste in and of itself that has to be handled as such. Part of the debate, I think, between the Army and the, I guess I would collectively refer to them as the environmentalists. So the EPA pays people that are looking at this from an environmental standpoint, is that the rocks in this area do contain arsenic. It naturally occurs. Shepley's Hill was built on top of, there's some rock that contains arsenic. There's also a bed of peat, like peat moss, that is an anaerobic environment, so there's no oxygen, in other words. And that environment favors arsenic coming out of, whatever it's trapped in now in the landfill and getting into the water. So it's kind of a perfect storm of, a bad scenario for arsenic to be coming into the water. One of the bones of contention has been between the Army and the environmental groups is that we will never get to 0 ppms of arsenic because arsenic naturally occurs around here. So if that's where you want to get to, it's never going to happen. There's a little bit of disagreement on both sides as to, well, but nobody's saying you have to get to 0. You just have to take care of what's coming out of the landfill. The problem is it's hard to separate out what's due to the landfill and what's just background, although there is an awful lot of data. So in the September 2015 update, they said that more data needs to be collected to determine just how effective this arsenic removal process, water treatment process is, and whether or not it makes economic and overall environmental sense, if you consider the sludge and the energy and everything else that you're generating, to continue doing that. So that came out last September. That wasn't new news. The Army's had this in their head. This article sounds to me, though, like perhaps some more communication may have happened between the Army and the EPA, because it said in here that they are asking, the Army essentially is looking for a hardship variation to get out of having to continue doing this. So if that's the case, I don't know if some additional paperwork has been filed or if there's been an official request for that outside of what was in the September. So I will email Laurie Nearing from PACE, I'll email EPA, I'll email Bob Simeone, who's the Rich Doherty, who is the consultant for PACE.
Like
there's
something
enough
that
people. Yeah. There's enough
prompted
people that I have
article.
contacts for that I can go to and say, what was there something new? Was there an official document filed recently by the Army to say, look, we just want to stop. We feel like we've collected enough data and we've determined that this is not
How
giving
old
us
is
what
the
we
treatment
want.
plant?
Treatment plant's really only been online for, I want to say about maybe 3 or 4 years, I think. It's not it hasn't been around for a long, long time.
And up until that point, all they were doing was the venting, right?
They tried a
The pipe
lot of
venting up
things.
there?
Yeah, they put in a liner, they capped it, they vented it, they've done a bunch of
Yeah.
things to try to keep it from leaching out. And what they're stuck with now is they really have reduced the plume, it's called, of arsenic that goes into the groundwater, and they've got all of these monitoring wells that they track, where is this plume going, and is it spreading, or is it going, more farther in a longitudinal manner, and it's reasonably well contained. The good thing is it's really, really deep. So it's not in the water supply. So people at home, there is not an unsafe level of arsenic in the drinking water supply. What we're talking about here is very, very, very deep groundwater. That they even quote Rich Doherty here in the paper saying, if you dug to put a pool in your yard, you're not going to hit this groundwater. This is very, very deep. So I don't know what the latest round of documentation was that kicked this off, but I'm going to send out some emails tomorrow and see what people know, and I expect that at the next RAB I think that's why the RAB was postponed, was to
Maybe.
gather up.
I'm wondering now, back in the day when they did this, when they closed, and then when they took on the responsibility of cleaning it up and everybody was up in arms about it, was there a formal kind of contract between the towns or the town of Ayer when they first looked into this?
Yeah,
The
it's a
Army would be-
Superfund
yeah.
site.
That-
Yep.
yeah,
The
okay.
Army is responsible for it. The Army put it there. The Army has to take it away.
Is there a time frame though? You can't just say
No.
we've done our
There's
best
no-
and
No.
tried it, okay.
No, this isn't, it's not a time frame. And I very distinctly remember the Army representative saying at one of my first RAB meetings, if it takes 100 years, it takes 100 years. So the question now is not one of, well, we've done it for long enough, now
And it's-
we don't need to do it anymore.
Yeah.
Is what we're doing getting us what, we think we're getting out of it? So that's what,
So they think this is just, it's wasting money because you're continually getting the same numbers no matter what.
it's not taking out enough
Enough.
of the arsenic. And there's a little ongoing debate about how much of the arsenic in the groundwater is due to just
Natural occurrence with what
yeah,
is
and how
left
much
over.
of it really is coming, from the landfill. That's kind of the scientific part of
Right.
the debate is, and it does make it difficult because no, we're never going to get to zero in this
No.
part of the country. You never will get to zero. I've heard Rich Doherty say that, but
Well, the reason I'm saying too, something must have happened, because I got a call at home saying, what is going on at Shepley's Hill? And I'm thinking to myself, now I know that they have a quarterly meeting coming up probably in October.
yeah,
And the person said to me, oh, there's something going on there, there's an article in the paper, so of course I hung up, went down to buy
Yeah.
the paper, and I
Yeah.
said, well, something has precipitated this,
Yeah.
and I figured, well, I knew you were away and everything, but I put it down, I said, she'll bring us up to date, and then you can follow up with Pace and everything, because all of a
I
sudden,
will,
this
absolutely.
story appeared, and when I asked the reporter, I suggested that she get a copy of our regulations, and she just said to me, well, I had to hurry, I didn't have much time, I had to hurry and get this article done, so I thought that was kind of strange. So obviously something has come up, and
And when are they meeting on that?
Yeah.
They're having a,
I didn't bring my thing. I think it's the third Thursday in October. It was going to be last week, and then they postponed it for a month. And there was something in the email about, being able to collect and present more data. So I'm wondering if that has to do with this. The good thing here is that we, maybe pump and treat has been around longer than I think, because they're saying, Bob Simeon here says, it's been about 12 years we've been saying the pump and treat system is not effective. So they may have had it online for longer than, I'm kind of looking at it
It's
in
such a
terms of-
long, drawn-out thing we've had with
Yeah.
all the contamination and Superfund and meeting
Yeah.
after meeting after meeting that you lose track of time.
Yeah, but the good thing is, it is a Superfund site, so the federal EPA oversees it, the Mass DEP oversees this. The Army has acknowledged, it's kind of clear, it's the
Right,
Army's
obviously,
landfill,
yeah,
so
yeah.
I don't think they could have denied it with a
Right.
straight face, and I don't know if they ever tried to really, but, so it's clearly the Army's responsibility. It's overseen at a state and a federal level, in addition to our local Board of Health. This area that's affected happens to be in Ayer. I'm sure that there's
Right.
other, effects on environmental things in other towns as well, but, our board just worries about the parts that are in Ayer. The other big thing that is kind of going on there that's going relatively well is this cleanup of, on the airfield. There was a lot of hydrocarbons, compounds that were used for cleaning parachutes and things that got dumped. And so they've had a process going on there for quite a while where they put stuff, at one point it was like a molasses compound that they pump into the ground, and it makes these hydrocarbons bond to the stuff, and then they suck it back out again. And now you've got hazardous waste again that you have to get rid of, but at least you're pulling it out of the ground. And the data from, as I said, I missed their quarterly. The last RAB I missed, the previous one, the data looked like that was really doing a pretty good job.
And that was a huge issue. Remember, the plume was going right across the road?
Yep, it was. It was going across the road.
Yeah.
From the airfield
Yep.
across to,
Yeah,
is it the
It's-
backside or is it on 2A? That
2A.
Okay.
2A.
Okay.
Yeah, 2A. And they actually have, they have a map, and they've identified the different places where, there's a dry well area where these solvents were dumped after they were used. And so the monitoring wells, and then the holes where they force this material in that bonds to the hydrocarbons, they're all placed so that they're in the right spots to get where the worst of the contaminants are. Yeah.
Getting back to Shuppies, I have a question, only because that's where I played as a little girl.
Yeah.
There.
Yeah.
Plow
yeah.
Shop, and the stream that comes out of it that goes down,
Yeah.
that hasn't tested for a very long time as high levels of arsenic hazard. It did at one time, I remember
Yeah.
years and years ago, but
They
There's
did
no-
a big cleanup. Was it last summer, or was it 2 summers ago?
Could be two now.
I
Time
think it
goes
could
by
be 2
so
summers
fast.
ago now, where they drew down the water level in Plow Shop and in this area that called Red Cove, that took on this red color because of these
I remember.
contaminants. And that was a funny situation because it was a combination of stuff from the Army, but also from the railroad.
yeah.
And they drew the water down, they took out a bunch of sediment. There were all kinds of worries about what was going to happen when they drew down the water. Was there going to be this horrible stench and, from all kinds of dead vegetation and fish? And as the whole thing turned out, I think the total kill of fish was they lost like 2 fish. The whole thing. They had environmentalists on site to, track what were the species that they were seeing and what was going on, and I think that was a really good, really successful effort. So, yeah, that area is, and they even talk about that in the article. That's now cleared for catch and release. You still can't eat anything out of. And when I think about all the horn pout I ate out of Wells Pond, it's a wonder I've got all my marbles. But maybe I'd have more if I hadn't. But yeah, so Plow Shop is. They've done a good job with that, but there's a bunch of other areas on Devon's.
Not just that there's the motor pool. That's up higher that's up higher in the back.
Yeah,
where that stuff could really go.
Yeah, I think that one though is not. I'm not sure exactly what the status of that one is now. I think that one might actually be a done deal. I think that one might have been cleaned up.
That's it was.
Yeah, I think that one's all done. There were a few areas, like housing areas, where they had insecticide contamination because they'd just go around the housing units, and spray the
Seven and
heck out
things
of
like
it.
that.
Yeah,
The heavy duty stuff.
yeah, all the stuff.
But
we
if you
didn't
think
know.
about the amount of time that's gone by, and when the Army first came, year one, dumping ammunition,
Yep,
K rations, all these canned things, and you don't know what else.
I know.
Year by year, how it's layered.
Yeah, I know.
The level must
Well, look at people's own yards.
It's incredible.
Nobody knew about all this environmental stuff.
Yeah.
If your father changed the oil and they
Yeah.
just dumped it in
They
the
did.
There was a
ground.
spot where you dumped it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
I mean, a lot of things that
Yeah.
we did
I
that
know.
we didn't know about.
And it's truly just that we didn't know.
Yeah.
Nobody knew.
So this is getting back to the pump and treat.
Yeah.
That's about as high, as modern as we can go with this process, or do you think they're actively looking into another something?
I
There's
don't
all
know.
kinds of things in science that are coming.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah,
Every couple of years
yeah.
they come up with a new method of.
Maybe you'll hear something.
Yeah, I don't know. And that's a very good question that I'll ask at the next RAB. Is there something on the horizon, that's better? One of the pump and treat problems has been that, or one of the concerns that the environmental groups have always had is that never seems to be running at 100% capacity. It's offline a lot. They talk in the article about at one point they lost funding for it, and so they actually got fined, I think, by it was EPA. Yeah, EPA. They paid a $5,000 penalty.
So it's just not
violation.
working for an amount of time?
Yeah, it was, as it says here, it was shut down due to a lapse in contract funding. So, the Army gets, Bob Simeon explained a little bit about this at one of the RAB meetings, where they get funds released to them for, various projects. And if the Army hasn't released the funds for a particular project, you can't spend money you don't have. But on the other hand, EPA came back to them and said, hey, wait a minute, you signed up to do this. Right. And so you're going to have to pay the fine for not doing it. They have made some improvements in the way the plant is run, so that it does seem to have, over the years that I've been going to these meetings, it does seem to have a higher percentage as time goes by of online operating time. But it's just never operating at 100. There's maintenance, they have to shut it down and flush filters and but
Okay,
so that's the story. I will try to get more info, and
if you have any update, you can tell us.
I will
next
do
Monday
that. Yeah.
If you have anything.
Yeah.
Okay.
was
So-
long. I'm sorry, I kept asking.
That, no.
Oh, no,
it's-
no, definitely not.
it's-
And if, you know, anybody can attend the RAB. If you want to go to that next RAB meeting with me, you are more than, more than
I
welcome.
am interested in it.
yeah, I'll send you
Yeah,
the,
yeah.
I'll send you the invitation for it.
Thanks.
Okay. So, 41 East Main, do we have any updates on it?
I saw the thing in the paper for it,
Yeah,
You got it
so.
here.
I don't know if this was on, I don't know if that was included, but did that too, Erin. I just pulled that off tonight.
well, I mean, we don't know anymore. This is just, you asked if it reset the clock. As far as I'm concerned, from our last meeting, he needed to get in touch with
Mhm.
Mark Wetzel. He needed to get in touch with the building inspector, Charlie
Yeah.
Schultz. So the ball's in his court.
Absolutely.
As far as we're concerned, we're having a public
Yeah.
hearing.
The public
at
hearing,
5:45.
that's right.
On next Monday, which is October 3rd.
And that's
and-
going to be based on the last set of plans that he gave us. We haven't received anything new.
Okay,
Or is that not true?
may I speak?
Yeah.
Okay. What I have heard from Ross Associates
Yeah.
is that Mr. Seda has met with Mark Wetzel, has met with Charlie Schultz, and Ross Associates is drafting, revising the plans based on information that was given to Mr. Seda at their meetings. So we do expect to have revised plans. That's what prompted my question, because when I talked to Charlie, he said he wasn't sure whether the fact that we were going to be working off revised plans, whether that started the clock again. But I do expect to have revised plans this week, and so
Well, we'll see them when we see them on
that's,
On the-
next
The meeting.
meeting.
Yeah.
and I asked the question of Carly if that reset the clock, and she said it did not. The other thing that's germane to this, now I've been out of the office since Tuesday, but we have not yet been reimbursed for the ads that are running. So, here again, I will be in tomorrow and I will follow up with that.
Mhm.
So, I do have a bill from, the Voice and the Neshoba Voice, and before the rules, as I interpret them, before we can have the public hearing, he needs to pay us for that,
Absolutely. So?
ad. So, those are the two issues.
Well, we'll find out whatever the changes are,
When you say reset the clock,
meaning
meaning the time
The
frame.
time frame,
How many
yeah.
days was that? Was it?
It's 65 days from the day that he makes the formal application
Okay.
and submits the plans. And when he makes formal application, I then immediately, or as soon as I possibly can, send out copies of the plans to the various departments. Now, we got the preliminary plans, we sent them out. It triggered response from the DPW superintendent and also from Charlie Wetzel. Charlie Wetzel came to the last
Charlie
meeting.
Schultz.
I mean,
Charlie
Charlie
Schultz, yeah.
Schultz
Yeah.
came to the last meeting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What we can do, if we have enough questions, you can always continue the public hearing
Mhm.
to our next meeting. So it doesn't mean that, you know, he comes in, we're looking at these plans for the first time, and they generate more questions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We can just continue the public hearing. We are allowed to do that.
Then that has to be, I assume, posted again and.
No,
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 it doesn't, okay.
no,
Okay,
you
that's-
just make a motion. I've been at enough selectmen's meeting when they've had something that's come up or they need more information, they say, well, you
Okay.
know, I'll just make a motion, we continue this public hearing at our next meeting, then
Oh,
give the
okay,
date.
okay,
Yeah.
right, because then presumably everybody there is, they know what. Okay,
Correct.
got
The
it.
revised plans have been seen by Charlie and Mark. The revised plans, nobody will see until the night of this.
No.
You're gonna get, okay.
I'm good. Mark Sada met with
With-
our guys.
Yeah,
And based on their input, he went back to his engineer, which
All
is
right.
David Ross.
yeah.
Yeah,
And that firm is redrafting or revising the plans
Based on what,
based on
the
the
conversation
feedback they
from
got
Charlie.
from Charlie and
And-
from Mark Wetzel.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's our update. We'll all be excited to see Plan 342 or whatever it
Yeah.
is by now. All right, so we
Okay.
do not have a lot of stuff in the mail, which is always good.
Yeah, it's been quiet.
Well, we've paid a
Jinx
lot, we've
us.
paid the quarterly,
I shouldn't say
the
anything.
quarterly bills and that kind of stuff, so.
now we're gonna get flooded.
Dogs.
No, it's pretty much, other than an insurance claim, it's everything that we've just talked about here.
Great.
And, let's see here. All right, we've made the corrections on the minutes, so we'll sign those next time. And I just signed, and we had discussed this before, it was for the 2 chickens on 33 Pleasant Street. So
Sure.
Carly had gone up there, we knew about that anyway. So that's, let me see, I think. Yep, that's all it was, so.
Chickens. And no more dog bites.
so
Who
that's
let the dogs out?
Old Yeller hasn't come to
Pretty
town.
much.
I know. What a sad story that was.
No.
Oh, man.
It's cruelty to make a kid watch.
It is.
It really ruined my childhood.
Traumatized.
Looking back,
It's a
looking
very
back,
traumatic movie.
So,
left a mark.
we don't, Jana's gonna chase him down for the money for the bills. Do we have anything,
My favorite thing.
Yeah.
Lucky you.
That's why I go to the gym.
anything that you're interested in with regards to the next meeting? I mean, we have a public hearing.
Yeah, I don't think so. I'm looking forward to seeing what,
You'll update
Yeah,
us with
what,
anything that's transpired since then.
exactly, yeah.
Anything you
Yeah.
want on there, Tricia, you can think of anything.
I do wanna know when that next.
Yeah, I think you'd find it.
Trying to get back into,
I think you'd find it
Yeah.
interesting.
I went
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
a few of them, and then when Pam came on board and she expressed interest, and we were both there one night, I said, you know what, we don't both need to go, and I was on enough committees, and we were happy that
Yeah,
she said, oh,
yeah.
I want to go, so we made her officially our rep.
That was a be careful what you ask for moment.
I'm just, like I said, I'm curious, I grew up there and I
Sure.
remember how.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah,
How
sure.
it changed and changed and.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know, We were afraid for a little while there
Yeah.
when they first talked about all the pollution.
I know, I know. And even at the public hearing, that we had, you could see that there's still a lot of, I think, misinformation that's out there. I think that, and this article did say it, I don't think they really maybe said it early enough in the article, but the thing that, I want to make sure that people understand is that there is not an unsafe level of arsenic in the drinking water.
Right.
This isn't our aquifer.
That's
This
not
is
our, yeah.
deep groundwater. But, there's that distinction, I think, is, it's either lost or, I think people assume that, well, if it's, in the deep groundwater, it's going to keep it from coming up. Because there were a lot of residents that were very, very concerned.
Mm. Oh, that was-
And rightly so. I mean,
Right,
it's,
yeah,
that is
absolutely.
nasty stuff.
Absolutely.
Yeah, very nasty stuff.
And there've been a lot of residents that have gone to the meetings since the base closed and everything,
Yeah. Yeah.
Once they said they were moving out and this whole process, and that's been 20 years.
Mm-hmm.
So a
Yeah.
lot of people have gone to a lot of various meetings.
Well,
on
and if you
that.
count all the talking about it and all the near misses that Ted Kennedy saved us from, and
Yeah.
it's been 50 years, really.
So, so we'll go with our routine stuff because
Yeah,
we
I think
do
so.
expect that public hearing to probably go on a while.
Yep, I think that'll take.
And other than
a
that,
while,
if you have something to update us with
Yeah,
regards
yeah.
to that.
I'll try to
we'll
do a
just-
quick update on this before the public hearing begins.
And it's water, so I'll just bring this up just so you'll know, because we talked about this at the Water and Sewer Rate Committee. This drought has forced all communities to look at their water sources and everything. And right now, they're predicting that it could be equally dry next year. So what the superintendent said he's going to be looking at is a better water main to connect us with Devon's, because you have to think, suppose that something with the overuse, we use a lot of water in town, we have a lot of businesses, which
Yep.
we're happy about.
Yep,
But suppose one of the treatment plants had to be shut down
yeah,
for repairs.
I know,
Could be down for a few days, it could be a week.
yeah.
We would need to have another source that we could connect to. So
Yeah, we
we
would.
did discuss that, and he let, that'll be discussed more, I think, with Catherine, with the Board of Selectmen
Yeah.
and anything. But when you said water, I said,
Yeah.
oh, that's another source, so.
Yeah, we don't have a lot of land
We
mass in
have
Ayer,
probably
so-
had 3 different, over the course of the years, studies to see if we could find another source. And with contamination,
Yeah.
and with 2 or 3 spots that they said, oh, this'll be good, and you go down and
Yeah.
it's just
Yeah,
rock.
yeah,
So they couldn't, so believe it or not, after thousands of dollars and many years, these are the
yeah.
2 spots. And of course, we have put the 3rd well at Grove
Yes,
Pond,
yeah.
so.
Yeah.
So anyway,
Exactly.
I just thought I'd let you know, so if there's nothing else, I'll entertain a motion.
Well, I will move that we adjourn.
I
Okay.
second.
Okay, it is moved and seconded to adjourn at 6:20. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay.